Doug and Angela are my constituents, and so we are here today to talk about Angela's Law. One of the best parts about being a state representative is getting to represent your people. That's exactly why we're here to serve. And whenever families bring specific laws to us, I think it's important for us to advocate for those and talk about them. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today to share about Angela's Law. I want to talk a little bit about what Angela's Law does, how we got there, and then I'm going to let Doug and Angie speak and share anything that they would want to. So in Angela's Law, in cases where the death penalty may be authorized, this law would add the following to the list of aggravating circumstances for the judge and jury to consider. The offender abused the corpse of the victim of kidnapping or murder by engaging in deviant sexual intercourse, or sexual contact, as defined by KRS 510.010. So Doug and Angie's daughter, Angela, was murdered. Angela was a year younger than me in school, and I think any life taken before natural death is way too soon. And so I appreciate them having the courage to be here to advocate today for Angela's Law. So a little bit about the Angela's murderer. I don't want to say his name because I don't think he deserves to be talked about, but I do want to talk about the specifics of the case. He was first arrested for as a juvenile for various offenses. When he was 19 years old, he committed burglary. I don't know. I can't say that. Y'all get it. I'm a little nervous, apparently, Chairman Elliott.
I can't say digitization, so I understand.
Thank you.
I understand how that can be.
In the second degree, in theft by unlawful taking over $300. The offense date was January to February 2008, and a total of a 6-year sentence. When he was 20 years old, he was charged with robbery in the first degree, and he received a 10-year sentence. He was sentenced to prison after both of those offenses, and he basically spent the entirety of his 20s in prison. He was released on January 5th, 2021. The offense that he committed was between March 11th and March 12th of 2021, 2 months after his release. He was 31 years old. He has spent approximately 1 year of his adult life out of prison. When he is approximately 51 years old, he will again have a chance to be paroled. In this case, he was charged with murder, abuse of a corpse, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and persistent felony offender in the first degree. He did not qualify for life without parole or the death penalty, even though there's a recording of him, recorded by him on his cell phone, of having sexual intercourse with the victim's body after the murder. Because she was deceased, it does not qualify as rape as an aggravating circumstance. A jury convicted the defendant of all charges and gave him 70 years. Regardless of the number of years, the defendant will be parole eligible after his service of 20 years. The victim's family in this case, given the defendant's prior history and the horrific nature of what occurred to their daughter Angela, believe that he did not deserve the opportunity for parole or to see the light of day at the age of 51. The only way to make that possible would be if he was given life without parole or death. Again, not an option available to them because he had had sex with the victim after death, not before. Adding an aggravating circumstance does not require that option to be exercised, but merely puts more tools in the toolbox. I'm not saying that the judge has to do this. It should just be another option for them to look at whenever an instance like this comes up. While this is just one case, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen again in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Doug and Angela, do you all have anything to add?
Yeah. On March 12, 2021, I received a phone call my daughter had been murdered. Had to go home and tell her 5-year-old, 3-year-old great-grandkids. Pretty horrific. Never knew abuse of a corpse. I thought maybe the body had been moved. I found out through the news enterprise of local media that she was found laying halfway in and out of the house naked. Teresa Logston, weeks later, pulled us into her office to tell us, and there's never such a terrible thing to have to be told that your daughter was murdered and then taped having sex with her. And for them to tell me a sentence maximum of 5 years was just terrible. That's the sole purpose to me of a father, is protect your family, your kids, your wife. And I just hope that we can do something different. So if anybody else has to go through what me and my wife and children have, that they won't have to suffer as bad. At least they would know that he did get more time. And I just don't see that he's an animal. I didn't realize people could be so horrific and it's sickening to me. And I thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate it.
I agree with my husband. It was terrible. And as Samara said, his prior, he got 6 years for robbery. But he committed sex with her after she died, and she's not considered human. I don't think that's right. She's still human to us, even today. So we do think that law needs to be changed. And I appreciate you all listening too.